Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast, Tennessee Titans Weekly. What's up, y'all? This is your boy Hawk. Shout out to my boy Jacques, man. He's on vacation today, man. Shout out to my boy Jacques. You dig? Hey, we're here talking Titans, of course. We got a lot to talk about, in particular, why the Titans do not have a primetime game. But we got a few things we want to discuss first. Shout out to everybody that's here, man, on the show as well. If you're watching this live on Bleacher Report, make sure to follow us as well. You can follow me at Lorenzo_the Hawk. You can follow Jacques as well, man, at Jacques Merrill. We appreciate it again, Bleacher Report. Follow us, Tennessee Titans Weekly, on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok. We're out there. All right, let's get cooking. Okay, so first of all, before we start talking about these primetime games, as you all know as well, just about an hour or so ago, man, the Tennessee Titans did sign Cam Ward to an extension. Shout out to Timothy Rapp here at Bleacher Report. So Cam Ward did agree to a reported 4-year, $48.8 million rookie contract. $32 million of that is guaranteed. Fifth-year option is available. So, ladies and gentlemen, whether you know it or not, Cam Ward is our franchise quarterback. He is going to be the guy that we have. We do have him. It's a guaranteed deal here, $48 million. So he has a few years as well to be here, man. Hey, congratulations to Cam Ward. Congratulations to the organization. Cam Ward, man. Hey, listen, bro. Welcome. You're here. We love Cam Ward here, man. Hey, so far, I know the preseason hadn't started yet, man. We got no pads on. But right now, I think the Titans like what they see. They was like, let's go ahead and sign the dotted line now. I do know there has been rumor of competition between him and Will Levis. And I think that's a good thing. That's going to bring out the best in Cam Ward. It's going to bring out the best in Will Levis as well, too. So I'm all for competition. But at the end of the day, based on the contract and what it was signed, Cam Ward is our quarterback. 4 years, $48.8 million rookie contract. Those in the comment section, how do you feel about it? I feel great about it. Cam Ward has officially signed on the dotted line. Cam Ward is the Tennessee Titans. Welcome to Nashville. You're here. Let's get it, man. So I'm going to tell y'all, too, speaking of Cam Ward, man, here in Nashville. So, one thing that I think, man, that is worse than having water in your cereal, right? Water in your cereal, disgusting. Hey, even having sugar in your grits, man, who does that, man? I don't know a lot of folks do that. Maybe half of the United States does that, but put salt and butter in it for me. And what's worse is if you put your wings in blue cheese, right? Ranch all day, other sauces, blue cheese is the absolute worst. You know what's worse than all three of those things? Playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So Cam Ward let Travis Hunter know that, man, a few days ago as well. He's like, man, I wouldn't dare want to play for Jacksonville. And then Travis Hunter said his thing as well. He was like, well, man, they only got you because that's what they needed was a quarterback. Well, Travis, you're correct. That's correct. We needed a quarterback. But I thought that was a funny little jab or whatever between the two. This is only going to fuel the rivalry when they do play against each other. And don't forget, we got Elick Ayomana, the receiver that cooked Travis Hunter 2 years ago for almost 300-some yards receiving. This is going to be fun to watch. I love competition. I love this type of rivalry. I welcome it. Welcome to Nashville, Cam Ward. You got your contract. If you put water and cereal together, shame on you. If you put sugar in your grits or even on your rice, shame on you. Let's go, Tennessee. All right, so looking at where we're at right now, man, as far as the Tennessee Titans. So the schedule was released last week, and we did have our scheduled show. And as you know, when you look at the schedule here, that's what we have for the regular season. You look at, our division games, of course, and there are other games as you see as well. And we'll look more into this. But when you look at the primetime games, you look at Thursday night football, you look at Sunday night football, you look at Monday night football, right? Normally, you get 1 or 2 games a year or whatever. There was only 3 teams that received no primetime games. Crazy enough, the Titans was one of those teams. We received none, no primetime games for next year. So I'm not sure how you all feel about that. We have that question out there as well, too, as far as, how do you feel? But I think right now we need to look at the biggest reason why the Tennessee Titans does not have a primetime game for next year. So I think it's a culmination of things, man. I mean, one, the Tennessee Titans just won 3 games last season. And as you all know, that's not going to get it done. So I think a big reason why is the Tennessee Titans just hadn't won enough games. And you look at it, no one wants to watch a boring football team. And, when you look at the New Orleans Saints, they don't have a primetime. So, teams that don't have this, there's not a reason for folks to watch the game. And I think that's what they looked at. When you looked at the stats from last year, you look at, the Tennessee Titans had the lowest number of viewership in their games last season. That played a part of it. So I really think the biggest part as to why the Tennessee Titans don't have any primetime games for 2025, we have not won recently. When we were winning games, we had primetime games. When you had superstars like Derrick Henry, people watched, we had primetime games. When you look at our roster, it's a combination of several things. We don't have marquee players. So hopefully Cam Ward could be a spotlight for us. And I think it's kind of crazy because I think with the fact that we have the number one pick in this draft, I would think that we would have at least one primetime game. Everyone wants to see the number one pick in the draft. But because of it, because of the fact that we've been such a bad football team, it is what it is. What is Brian Callahan going to do? What are the Titans going to do to change that? If you want to be on the primetime spotlight, you got to win football games. You can't turn the ball over, like we were doing last year. You can't play bad football. We were a boring football team to watch. We were, one of the worst teams in scoring, only 18 points a game. We gave up a lot of yards in the passing game, especially towards the end of the season. No one wants to watch that. You know what I mean? So we had a 1,000-yard rusher and Tony Pollard and a 1,000-yard receiver out of Calvin Ridley. Offensively, those are the only spotlights. But, man, it's a lot of teams that have that. You know what I mean? So I think right now we need to win more football games. And then here's the thing, too, and I'm going to pose this question out there, too. So what if we had a primetime game? Looking at our schedule. Well, first, let's look at this, right? Let's look at, what games could we have had, or maybe if we had one game. Let's go to the schedule and look at it here. So looking at the schedule, you see this right here, right? So I think some of the highlights that we put here on the poll question is maybe the opening game against the Denver Broncos. That would have been Bo Nix versus Cam Ward. That would have been an interesting game to watch. Then you definitely look at week 7. Mike Vrabel coming back to Nashville against his old team on week 7 against the Tennessee Titans and the New England Patriots. That would have been something to watch. Then you look at week 13 against the Jacksonville Jaguars, the number 1 pick in Cam Ward versus the number 2 pick in Travis Henry, who's already started talking trash to each other, right? I think that would have been interesting. And then you look at week 16 versus the Kansas City Chiefs, Cam Ward versus Patrick Mahomes. Kansas City has the more primetime games this season. It would have been interesting to see Cam Ward versus Mahomes. I think a wild card would be December 7th. If for some reason Shedeur Sanders is starting quarterback, people would love to watch Shedeur versus Cam Ward. That would be primetime TV. So despite our schedule, in my opinion, being an easy schedule and somewhat maybe a boring schedule in some regards, I do think there's some games that could have at least been picked, at least one for a primetime game, given that we have the number 1 pick in this draft in Cam Ward. So, looking at this, in my opinion, I would have liked to have seen the Mike Vrabel game, week 7, Mike Vrabel coming back to Nashville against the Tennessee Titans. I think that would have been made for TV right there. That would have been an awesome, awesome display there. So I'm going New England Patriots, Mike Vrabel, week 7 against the trash Patriots. I think that would have been a great game to watch. So I want to take this time out as well, too, man. Breaking news within our AFC South division. Jim Irsay, the owner of the Indianapolis Colts, has passed away today. 65 years old, really young, man. I know he had been battling some health issues. So, man, rest in peace to him, man. God bless his family as well, man. Very sad news within the AFC South. Shout out to any Colts fans that watch the show, that follow us as well, man. Just want to give our well wishes here in Titans land. Man, a much respect to Jim Irsay, man. Just, sorry to hear about that as well, too. So looking at the poll question as well, too, man, looking at, the Titans itself, how do you all feel about the Titans not having a primetime game? How do you all feel about that? I mean, do you feel great about it? Do you understand? Or are you upset about it? Because, given the fact that we have the number 1 pick, I would think we'd have at least one. So honestly, I understand why, because we haven't won games, but I'm a bit upset that we couldn't at least have one primetime game. I just went over certain games, whether it be the New England Patriots, the Mike Vrabel Bowl. You got the Travis Hunter game against Cam Ward. You also have Bo Nix versus Cam Ward. You also have Patrick Mahomes versus Cam Ward, and you have a possibility of Shedeur Sanders with Cleveland versus Cam Ward. So I think with the number 1 pick, you think about it, man, there hasn't been many number 1 picks that have gotten less coverage than it has for Cam Ward. I don't quite understand why. You got a guy that was, a 0-star recruit all the way to the number 1 pick in the draft. You really can't write a better story than that. A guy that comes from a biblical school in Incarnate Ward all the way up to Washington State, all the way down to Miami. How can you go from Washington to Miami in one season, right? And then turn everything around in every program that you've been in to be the number one pick. That is the epitome of hard work. A guy in Cam Ward that almost won the Heisman Trophy candidate last year, 4,300, 43 touchdowns, 3,900 yards passing. This guy here, he's unbelievable. And so, again, I don't understand why we can't at least get at least one primetime game this season for the Titans. So I look at it as motivation. You got a new stadium coming up in 2 seasons. I don't live far from the stadium. It is being built incredibly every single day. I'm telling you, man, like when the new stadium's here and our team is really kind of put together, I expect us to have some primetime games. This year, it's on us to win. Vegas only has us winning about 5.5 games. I honestly don't see us winning much more than that. But again, it's for them to prove us wrong, and let's see what happens. So I honestly feel upset that we don't have at least more than one primetime game. Shame on the NFL. You should at least get the number one pick at least one game this season, and there were games to show that. So those are my thoughts there as far as how I feel about the primetime game. Now, what can the Titans learn this season into 2026 to get more primetime games? So I got that poll question out there as well, too. What should we do this season for 2026 to get primetime games? So I think more than anything, man, is we need to win more games. Now, by winning more games, Cam Ward has to be successful. Our roster has to become successful as well. So I just think that not only winning games, we have to build a brand. We have to have a game where you want to watch, right? And, in Nashville, you have a lot going on. You have a lot of reasons why not to watch football if your team isn't doing well. There's plenty of restaurants to go to, plenty of bars to go to, a lot of scenery, a lot of good food. The city, the weather's great. So I get why people just generally don't want to watch the game if we suck. But I think if we win more games, we'll get more fans to come to the games. We'll get more viewership on television. That will input, that for us to get more games into 2026. Now, I've heard rumors about different things as far as, the New York Giants wanting to draft Cam Ward, doing whatever they can and sort of punishing the Titans or something. I've heard all kind of weird reasons why we didn't have many games coming up this season. But the one thing you can't control is winning football games. And you win football games, people are going to watch you. When we were in the AFC championship game just 5 years ago, people watched us, right? When Derrick Henry was running for 2,000 yards, people were watching us. With Steve McNair and Eddie George and those guys and Chris Johnson, in his time, when we had star players and they did their thing, people watched us. We had primetime games. Sad that we don't have any, but we need to win more games. We want people to watch us. We need to win games. You can't win 3 games if people want to watch you, right? And I think still people don't understand how bad our roster was last year. We had a bad roster, and we need more players. And things like that. We got some rookies. It's hard to say, oh yeah, we got these rookies. We're about to blow up and just be this great team. It's going to take a while. And we have free agents. It still remains to be seen. We'll see. But Cam Ward, the success of Cam Ward is going to help us to win more games this season, more than what we won last year. Man, we don't win more than 3 games. Hey, Brian Callahan. Hey, bro. Hey, you need to start kind of putting your house on the market, man. If you can't win more than 3 games this season, I can sit there and say the roster was at a 3-win roster. I'd say maybe 5 last season, but the roster is what it says it is, man. 3 wins is what we had. I'm not out. If I'm not a Titans fan, I'm not watching the Titans play. You know what I mean? I'm not. You know what I mean? Because you only won 3 games. So we had to sit through all those bad games that we played, all those turnovers, especially early in the season. It gets frustrating. So I think the Titans need to win more games in order for folks to watch us in 2026. So I tell you, man, listen, one thing about Tennessee, man, shout out to everybody watching the show as well, too. Looking at the Titans and Cam Ward, man, I really do think that Cam Ward has the opportunity to make something happen. Even in the joke that he had with Travis Hunter, he said, man, Tennessee loves me, man. I have an opportunity to do something here as their quarterback. And the fact that even Warren Moon allowed him to wear the number 1, there's a lot of history in that. So I'm really excited of the possibility of Cam Ward coming in here. We've already signed him to a big contract here as a rookie. He has every opportunity in the world to become our star. And I like the fact that we end up getting with the number 1 pick. You draft a quarterback. And we've been saying, me and Jacques have been saying since October the 30th, draft Cam Ward. That's exactly what we did. And, man, hey, I hope nothing but the best for him for sure. And then when you look at our schedule, we had our schedule show. Jacques and I both actually agreed that the Titans will probably win 6 games. And then, you look at the schedule, I'm going to say the 6 games that I think the Titans have a chance of winning. So if you look at the Denver Broncos, the Rams, I think those are losses. But you do have a home game against the Colts. I think that's very likely. They're still shaky at quarterback. We don't know if Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson are going to be whoever's going to be the quarterback. Outside of that, the Colts defense is decent. They have a great offensive line, but I think their quarterback play is shaky. Can Cam Ward outplay their quarterback? That's what it'll come down to. I think Houston is a loss. Arizona's a possible win there in Arizona. And the Raiders, they're going to win one of those games. I'm going to say the Arizona Cardinals is the game that they will win. It is away. I think that could be a challenge. But I think Arizona is one of the worst teams in football. They're still trying to figure out what Kyler Murray and their offense. They did draft a few guys on the line, but I still think, Marvin Harrison being back in his second year, he's gotten a lot bigger, by the way, too. But I do think the Arizona Cardinals just can't score enough. So I'm going to say that's game 2. When you look at the Patriots, the Mike Vrabel game, I do think the Patriots are not a good football team. Drake May just yesterday threw 4 interceptions in practice. So that's not starting off on the right foot. So I do think the Titans have a chance to beat the New England Patriots here at home. So I'm going to give that 3 wins right there. I think we'll lose to the Colts. I think we'll lose to the Chargers in LA. I think we'll lose to Houston in Houston. I think we'll lose to Seattle in Seattle. I think that could be a close game. I'm looking at the Jacksonville game at home. I'm going to say we're going to win that game. I think we have a chance to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars here at home. I think Jackson, when you look at Trevor Lawrence, you look at his numbers, it's not that much difference than Daniel Jones. I think Trevor Lawrence has, been overhyped. We'll see how he does this season. They clearly can't win without him. So we'll see if they can win with them. And I think that's a game that we can win. When you look at the Cleveland Browns, I think that's a winnable game. It is in Cleveland. Right now they might have, Kenny Pickett there at quarterback, but who knows by that time who's going to be a quarterback. It's going to be a carousel. I think they're confused. I think that's a win for us. I think the 49ers game could be close, but I think that's a loss. The Kansas City Chiefs in home in Nashville, I think we'll lose to Kansas City, the Super Bowl contender, the champs every other year. I think the New Orleans Saints game is a game that we can win. I almost could say if I had an assurance of a game based on the roster as of today, I think the New Orleans Saints will be a game that we can win at home. And I think Jacksonville, as an away game, I think Jacksonville could get us at least one. We could split with them. So those are the 6 games that I think the Titans can win. 6 games. Colts at home, Arizona away, New England at home, the Jacksonville Jaguars at home, Cleveland away, New Orleans at home. Those are the games I think we can win. 6 games. So we'll see. We'll see how the roster goes in the preseason. It's going to take a lot for me to change my mind on that because I do think we're still a work in progress. And 6 games is more than 3 games that we won last season. So yeah, shame on those that eat wings with blue cheese, man. If you do that, man, put that in the comment section, man. But like I said, look, Tennessee is in a situation right now with a lot of young guys, man. You look at our draft picks as well, too. Cam Ward being number 1. So far for what I've seen so far, I see a lot of energy coming from Olu Oladejo, the outside linebacker / defensive end. I've seen a lot of action out of him so far without pads. He seems to be the leader of the rookies on defense, as he should be, being round number 2. I do see that. Kevin Winston has not been participating because he's recovering from his injury. I've seen Shamir DK playing some at the slot, making really good catches with Cam Ward throwing the football. A lot of speed on the inside for sure. Gunnar Helm, from what I've heard and seen as well, Gunnar could vie for the number 1 tight end spot. Definitely tight end too. Gunnar Helm is going to play, ladies and gentlemen. Elick Ayomena as well. He's gotten better as rookie camp got on, and even towards the veterans as well too. He's like, man, you got to have that dog in you, man. And I'm working to get that. Cam Ward had even a conversation with him, make sure he runs the right routes, had him running his routes again. So him and Elick are trying to get on the same page. Jackson Slater, this guy here is a dog at the inside or whatever. I've seen some things from him as well, too. Expect Jackson Slater, man, to be a really good backup to play at times. Marcus Harris is still learning the position at corner. I've seen a few highlights of him playing DB. Really good speed on his breaks. I really think this could be a really good pickup for us. He'll get some playing time. And Khalil Mullins, so far from what I've seen, I've been very surprised at how well he's been playing so far that I've seen in camp. He's the change of speed back. You got Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard. Some similarities in their game. Khalil Mullins is a complete different back, 6'2", 225. So these rookies, and then when you add when you add the the rookie as well from Miami, Restrepo, Xavier Restrepo. This guy is getting in front of everyone in camp at receiver. He wants to get reps, and he's like the first guy up there. So Restrepo's doing all he can to make this team, even if he has to return punts, right? So this rookie class right now, they're definitely a group. They're a group that's really wanting to make an impact. And so, shout out to the rookies out there. If you're listening to the show, we see you, man. Hey, bring that same energy when those pads come on against those veterans. And all of you have an opportunity to make this team, including Restrepo. But, shout out to the rookies, man, and performing very well so far in camp. So Tennessee right now, when you look at us, man, again in the AFC South, I think this division is still a very poor decision. And that's another reason why we don't have any primetime games, man. Nobody wants to watch the AFC South. In the division itself, we have the least amount of games of all divisions. And so Houston has the most primetime games at 4. Everyone else has either 2, 1, or 0, and that's us at 0. So, right now, I think this could be a primetime spot for the Titans to improve in a bad division. I wouldn't be shocked if we won majority of those games, but our roster got some work to do, and we want to be on TV. We want to be on the spotlight. We got to win games. So tell me your thoughts as well in the comment section, whether it be on Bleacher Report, YouTube, on Instagram, wherever. Let me know what you think for sure, man. Absolutely. So Cam Ward wearing the number 1. I'm going to get that jersey pretty soon as well, man. I'm excited. There has been rumors of new jerseys. The jersey that they wore so far is a slight of a picture here of him talking to Travis Hunter. I'm not sure those are the finalized jerseys. There's a lot more of that powder blue on the jersey with the white pants, not the dark. So I'd be excited to see exactly what those jerseys will look like. But yeah, man. So, well, listen, look, I appreciate everybody watching the show. Again, in order for the Titans to get onto TV, we got to win games, folks. So can't be too upset. We won 3 games last year. That's not going to get it done. Again, shout out to Cam Ward signing the big contract today for the rookie. 4 years, $48 million of the rookie contract to Cam Ward. $32 million of that is guaranteed. You've been blessed, my brother. Hey, do well out there on the field. And once again, shout out to the Colts fans as well, man. Hey, RIP to Jim Irsay, who passed away today, man. Sending blessings and prayers to his family at this time during this hard time right now, the owner of the Indianapolis Colts. So, again, I appreciate it again, Bleacher Report, for the opportunity. For those that are watching the show, hit that like button, man. Hit that fire button wherever you're watching. You can follow me at Lorenzo_the Hawk. You can follow my boy Jacques as well at Jacques Merrill. You can follow us on YouTube at Tennessee Titans Weekly. We're on Apple. We're on Spotify. We are everywhere. TikTok, you name us, Tennessee Titans Weekly, as we do every week, every Wednesday, 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, man. We have our weekly show here on Bleacher Report. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Tighten up. Let's get to camp soon enough. Cam Ward, congratulations to you and your family. And as we always say, and as we always do, folks, facts, no paper.